What's up, guys? A short update on the price of Bitcoin. As you can see, we reached almost 65,000, like $64,700, and now we are experiencing a correction. That made sense, and in fact, that was some kind of almost like a week of the growth, and with slightly smaller and smaller delta of this increment of the rise, and then finally we reached the top of the stochastic oscillators on the daily time frame, and now we have this complete turnover. Well, in fact, I would say that it shouldn't be that deep, in my opinion. There is a nice chance to stop around $60,000. That would make it kind of a good well, enough depth in order to cool down all the indicators, and then after that it would lead to formation of somewhat like inverse head and shoulders. It may be not that pretty, but it is very possible that it could play out after that. So the current actually drop which we are experiencing at the moment is coming from a news from Donald Trump about the end of the like no fire regimen, no fire condition with Iran. So probably we see that with respect to the price goal of gold going down and the price of oil going up on that point. So that is kind of normal, but maybe during this news it's not the main kind of trigger. Of course, it could lead to some volatility, but I don't think it would lead to anything major. So again, some kind of a drop. And by the way, on a 4 hours time frame, you can see that those highs forming a bearish divergence, already like 3 pairs of those highs. So that also made sense. I'm still concerned about the fact that this level about $58,000 was tested several times and we didn't really break it so far. So there was no traditional or like typical reversal pattern. There was no volume which we could have seen at the very bottom. We didn't see the acceleration of the price going down, something like this, and then reversal. So nothing like that happened so far. And by the way, at the moment, what we see now is that potentially it's just the playing out of this descending wedge, which is again, well, in most cases a bullish pattern, but it's not necessarily a reversal pattern at this particular situation. So we may again drop to 60K, test it from the top, and then if we find support there, yeah, it's a fair option to go to the upside from there. But again, as I said, it's kind of a concerning that this 58,000 wasn't broken, hadn't been broken like significantly or in a solid manner. And I tend to think that there is also a high chance for this to be retested, and finally we will see some more like a significant, more convincing bottom at this point. Yeah, so that's how the things are going. I don't want to look at equities anymore for some time until they finally get this correlation with Bitcoin again, because until very well, I mean, for already like months we don't see the proper situation with the correlation between equities and Bitcoin. So I don't want to even look at this and try to find some dependencies there, because it's very misleading at the moment. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but as I said, probably some correction continue to develop, and we'll see if we'll be able to find the support around 60K. If yes, then we'll go to the upside. If not, then I don't think that 58 will hold, and we will see much lower values in the price. Okay, that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. See you again, I hope, next week, and probably later than next week, like second half of next week, because I will be traveling in the beginning of that. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.